Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the action. We're here tonight for the Tuesday 6 p.m. division. This is round 1 of Season 5. This is the Japanese Grand Prix. My name is Jack. I'm your commentator. A pleasure to be bringing you the action. As always, we've got Deck, we've got Lunar Eclipse, we've got Boxing Dog in the TikTok chat, hyped up, ready for this race. And this should be a pretty damn good one, it must be said. I'm really looking forward to this event. And then, of course, the baby, the crown jewel of MOR. We are then blessed with the debut of the Tuesday 8 p.m. division. Jarmin in the chat as well. Welcome in, Jarmin. Good to see you, mate. Hope you are having a wonderful evening so far. I'm sure it's about to get a little bit better as we've got 21 drivers taking to the track for qualifying. Jarmin being one of those 21 drivers. Best of luck to you, Jarmin. Hope it goes well for you. We've got Shaggy, who is the first car out on track. We've got some big names, maybe some unproven names in this division. I said on the launch event stream that we did about a week, 2 weeks ago, that this is going to be the division I think that takes people by surprise and is very, very close, yet very, very quick. You know, we've got drivers here like Huff, like Lunar Eclipse, that maybe don't get the recognition they deserve in MOR. And I'm most certainly looking forward to seeing how they get on. Dex saying you're pretty quiet. I have got my mic turned up all the way. Let's turn it up a little bit more for you. Is that any better for you, Deck? Hopefully that is a little bit better. As Shaggy then comes towards the final chicane to begin the first flying lap ever of the Tuesday 6 p.m. division here in MOR Esports, draining the battery down towards turn 1. As that's really weird. Why has... I see the message. I'm assuming that's Ollie or Mikey that's on the MOR account. But it's showing up as WRC Online F1 League. That's really weird. It's saying the username of the account is WRC Online F1 League. That's odd, I must say. I'm just going to call it MOR anyway. MOR saying, let's hit that like goal before 10 minutes left of qualifying. Most certainly. We've got 14% through that like goal already. Yeah, I did just check the profile, Hannah. It does also say WRC Online F1 League. It hasn't said that previously, I don't believe. So, who knows? Interesting. As Shaggy makes his way through Spoon Curve then. And the Red Bull driver getting very, very out of shape through Spoon. Little bit too early on the overtake button. That was very, very close to ending up in the barriers. Somehow he managed to save it. Saying someone has changed it. Can't be changed for 7 more days. Who would have changed it back? Doesn't make any sense. I mean, to be fair, I don't know who's got access to the TikTok. That is odd. I would definitely look into that. That's weird. Anyway, onwards we go with qualifying then. It is a 29-1 for Executioner Same, who's currently on provisional pole position. Hannah saying, have you guys put a ticket in with TikTok to get your gifting reinstated? I'm not 100% sure. We are aware that it's an issue. And we have been suspended. Because it's also an issue with our viewers are being capped. And people can't repost our live streams as well. So there definitely is an issue going on. I will speak with the likes of Ollie and Mikey after this race, and I didn't even know there was a sort of ticket system that you could put something in. So thank you for that information, Hannah. We will try and get that sorted as quickly as possible. Ryan saying, is this a social race? No, this is a championship event. This is the Tuesday 6 p.m. division. We've got Brockert, who is invalidated. Benny is on a lap, as is YT Little Lie, getting all out of shape through the final chicane. Hannah says, I work alongside TikTok. I'm in the Discord if you need to know where to go and do it. Thank you very much, Hannah. I'll definitely reach out after the stream, because that would be very helpful. Because I can't think of any reason, to be honest, why we would have been suspended in the first place. I'm pretty sure there has been an issue for a while where it thinks our streams are kind of like re-recorded, if that makes sense. Because obviously there's no face cam or anything. It is just a game. TikTok kind of thinks that it's a rerun or something like that, and then it disables the gifting, and because it's happened so many times, it's now messing around with other different things like the viewers and all that sort of thing. Ollie's saying JP facecam for lives now on. I have thought about it. I just don't think people would want that, to be completely honest, as MGA Joe now goes to the top with a 28.5. Like, I would understand, you know, putting a face cam on. But the first question is, where would I put it? And the second is, you know, let's say you're watching a proper F1 broadcast. You don't see Crofty in, like, the right-hand side of your screen, like, screaming at the races, do you? So, I don't know. I feel like it would be a little bit weird to have a face cam on. But if there is, I guess, a demand for it, shall we say, I most certainly wouldn't mind having a face cam on during the streams. I don't see why it wouldn't work either. Luna saying, did you see my win earlier, JP? I won against Mikey and MCL trying to double team me. I can't say I did, unfortunately, Luna. I was meant to be commentating, but me and Mikey were up till about 5 in the morning making, well, I say me and Mikey, I was up with him. He was basically doing the work. I was just giving him ideas. But essentially we were coming out with what we now have, the TikTok shop. So we've now got things on the TikTok shop you can buy. It's all ran through Spotify. We've got things like t-shirts, hoodies, glasses, hats, phone cases. So definitely have a look at our TikTok shop if you are interested in getting yourself some MOR merchandise. Ollie's saying, I suspect TikTok have flagged the account and reverted the name and suspended the lives rather than someone changing it for some random reason. And the thing is, that is a good point as well, because, I mean, I don't know who's got access. But I mean, I know I've got it. Obviously, you've got it, Ollie, and Mikey's got it. But I don't know who else would have access. I've only got access on my iPad, and I use my iPad maybe once in a blue moon. Obviously, you or... Oh, you haven't got it, Ollie. Oh, okay, so it might just be me and Mikey then. Obviously, Mikey's not going to change the name back. So, I guess it would make more sense. But why would they revert us back to the old name? Because there's nothing, you know, wrong with MOR Esports F1 League or whatever the name was called, shall we say. Dex saying the hat is cool, but the glass is crazy. Honestly, my favorite product on the entire TikTok shop is probably the glass. I think it's really nice. I do like the hat. The hat's probably top 2 for me because it's actually embroidered. That is a big game changer for me. As Mikey has come in with the gifted subs, I didn't even realize on Twitch, Mikey in with the gifted subs. And that reminds me, I do need to load up the Twitch and make sure I'm looking at the Twitch chat as well. But yeah, I really like the glass. I really like the hat. I think the hat is really nice. I think all the products realistically are really nice. They're all 100% cotton as well, all the clothing, so they're good quality. You know, they're not gonna make you itchy or anything like that. They are high quality products as well. And the prices, I think, are incredibly fair. You know, you think you walk into a place like H&M now or something like that to buy a t-shirt, and it's a lot more than we're asking for an MOR t-shirt. So definitely, if you are interested, have a look at the TikTok shop. Have a look at the Shopify. and let us know what you think. And if you are interested, do feel free to purchase yourself some MOR merchandise. Boxing Dog saying, why do you only have one YouTube video? If you look, I can't remember what tab you have to check. It might just be videos. But all of our live streams do save. So we don't post any actual YouTube videos, if that makes sense. It's basically just the streams that get saved. I think there are playlists as well of previous races that we've held. And obviously those playlists will be added to with every race that we're streaming in Season 5. So there will be plenty of previous streams and previous races for you to go back and watch. Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri saying, is 4 p.m. social tomorrow? There is a 4 p.m. social every day. So I don't see why there wouldn't be one tomorrow. We're just going to invite Tom in as a reserve. Tom wants to get involved. We know Tom very quick, very clean. So no problem getting him in. And he will make the 22nd driver in this race. Lunar Eclipse saying, just had an Aston take my wing, stopped on the racing line while I was on a lap. Lunar Eclipse definitely not enjoying qualifying so far. Let's get ourselves back in the Twitch chat. Who have we got in the Twitch? It was indeed hilarious. That Gartic phone at 2 a.m. It was very, I must say, last night was let's say a night of spontaneity. We randomly decided we were going to run a podcast just before the 8 p.m. race. We then ran the podcast. The podcast, if you haven't watched the podcast, I must say, do go and give it a watch and let us know what you think. Because myself and Mikey that hosted it, we really enjoyed it. Blake joined us. He really enjoyed it as well. It was really nice. It was really good fun. We did that. Then we played a bunch of silly PC games like GeoGuessr and Gartic Phone and things like that. And then me and Mikey decided, you know what, let's get some merch going. Mikey was doing the work, I was feeding him ideas, and about an hour later, we had an entire web store going. So it was definitely a random night, but a good night, I must say. It was very, very fun. Ollie's saying Mecha Chameleon is the best. I can't say I've ever played it, Ollie, I'll be honest. I've played, like, other versions on Roblox and on Fortnite and stuff like that. I've never played the actual game. But I would be interested to see how that would go. I don't think I'd be very good at it myself. I'm not much of an artist, but I will definitely have to give that a go at some point. Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri saying, will you guys stream the 4 p.m? It will indeed be streamed. All of the social races and championship events are streamed. So, yeah. Do not worry. Let's get back in the Twitch chat. We've got most people coming into the pit lane now ahead of their final laps. Lawless Fever is, I believe, on an in lap. We've got CB, who's just coming around the final corner to come into the pit lane. We've got Deckers, who's coming through to Degners. He's invalidated. That's a bit of a mouthful. Jarmin looks like he's on a lap then. So let's stick with the Red Bull driver. Let's go on board with him. And Jarmin pushing onwards towards Spoon Curve. I must say as well, I'm not sure if we are running a podcast tonight. Obviously, we said last night we'd be running a podcast. We're not too sure. Obviously, announcements about that will be out in the Discord in due course. So make sure if you are interested in the podcast and if it's going ahead tonight, you are in the Discord and, you know, you will be pinged when an announcement is made. And we will see what happens. Obviously, if it doesn't go ahead, everything that we plan to go ahead will still happen. You know, of course, the giveaway from Mikey for the Leclerc Lego helmet. We had all the discussions that we had planned and all that sort of thing. That will still go ahead. Do not worry. CB saying, I can't ever get a good quali lap. It's going to let me down big time. I mean, CB, you're P7. It's not the worst I've ever seen. I can tell you that much. My qualifying, I'm the same as you, CB. I do really struggle in qualifying. But P7 is not a bad place to start from, especially around Suzuka. It's a track where you can overtake. I wouldn't be too worried, let's say. There's most drivers coming out on outlaps then for the final laps in this qualifying session. Boxing Dog saying, JP, do you still remember the Galaxy Mikey Boy gifted? I remember Mikey gifting a lot of Galaxies, to be honest. Mikey has definitely shown his support to the league in many, many ways. And Galaxies have been one of them. And there have been a lot of times that he's sent them in. Head over to the Twitch and drop a sub to enter in the giveaway. Exactly that. So, if you are looking to enter the giveaway for the Leclerc helmet, we didn't sort of disclose this yesterday. But essentially, Mikey is doing a giveaway. It's going to end up being the sort of thing that happens every podcast, knowing Mikey. But he's doing a giveaway for the next podcast, whether that is tonight or whether that is on Sunday or whenever we run it, which is a giveaway of the Charles Leclerc Lego helmet. If you are looking to enter the giveaway, head over to the Twitch and drop a gifted sub, and that will count as one entry. If you gift 5 gifted subs, you get 5 entries. And then what will happen is we will tally up all of the entries, put them into a spin wheel, and then spin the wheel when we run the podcast at the end of the podcast stream. And whoever the wheel lands on, congratulations, you have won yourself a Charles Leclerc Lego helmet. So if you are interested, head over to the Twitch, get yourself dropping some gifted subs, and you could win the giveaway. Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri says, if I were to join, do I need anti-lock brakes on or off? You can have whatever you want with ABS. There is no strict policy on if you have to have them on or off. As HTL Llama goes to provisional pole then. Crunch time here in qualifying. MGA in third is on his lap. Huff goes on to his final lap. And we await the lap times to tumble then. Through the S's comes the Mercedes-Benz. We've got 30 seconds left in this qualifying session. Ollie Southall coming in with the 2 gifted subs. Ollie wants that helmet. He wants the Lego. Ollie getting himself in early. As MGA towards the hairpin. What can MGA do? Needs about, what is that, a 10th of improvement-ish to try and get himself back onto provisional pole. Qualifying is now over then, ladies and gentlemen. These are the laps that will count for the drivers. MGA on his latest lap. We've also got Huff right behind him. HTL Llama will not get another lap. Here comes Executioner Same. He goes very wide and off the track and round and into the barriers at the final chicane. Here comes MGA then. The Mercedes man. Japan, always a Mercedes happy hunting ground. He crosses the line. He does take provisional pole back again. But what about Huff? Can Huff try and take it back? He needs about a 10th of improvement to get ahead of the Mercedes-Benz. He's driving towards the line now. Huff does it at the death. The Audi driver onto provisional pole again as Brands Plays now comes in with a gifted sub as well. People wanting to get involved in the giveaway. We've got CB and Deckers coming towards the line. Deckers stays in 9th. What about CB then? He's 2.5 tenths up through the final sector. What can the Audi driver do? His teammate currently on provisional pole position. This lap could take CB anywhere up to sort of P5. He does go P5. Audi roaring on this day out in Japan. That is your qualifying over, ladies and gentlemen. It is Huff on pole position. MGA takes second with HTL Llama in third. Executioner Same fourth with CB in 5th place. Lawless Fever 6th with Shaggy in 7th. Tom is 8th with Deckers in 9th and Lunar Eclipse in 10th place. But it's the Audi driver that does it at the last gasp, takes it by about 0.2 of a second as well. And the Audi man, I'm sure, will be smiling underneath that helmet. What a lap. The first pole position of this division. There is a treasure train as well. So if we reach level 2, we get 35% off gifted subs. So make sure, if you are looking to get yourself involved in Mikey's giveaway for the Lego Charles Leclerc helmet, you get gifting them subs now, and you'll get them a little bit cheaper. It's Huff that will begin the race from pole with MGA in second. Japan always provides good racing, and we have got an incredible race coming up for you. The Japanese Grand Prix is up next. Welcome back to the action, ladies and gentlemen, and what an off period we had in the Twitch chat. We got gifted subs coming in, some more from F1 Mikey Boy. We then had 5 from King Fenrir. I then gave one myself. Incredible stuff, King Fenrir. Thank you very much for the gifted subs. That is 5 entries into the giveaway for King Fenrir. You've still got 35% off 5 or more gifted subs for the next 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So make sure, if you are going to try and get yourself in the giveaway and get yourself multiple entries, you're doing it now, because you will save a very decent amount of money. It must be said, that's nearly half off. 50% off, you can't complain. 35% off is what you're actually getting. Incredible stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you are dropping some gifted subs in the Twitch if you want to get yourself involved in the giveaway. That giveaway will commence on our next podcast stream, whether that is tonight or on Sunday. We're not sure, as I say. Make sure you keep an eye out in the Discord for announcements. On the left-hand side of your screen, then, you will see the strategies. Soft compound tyres and medium compound tyres looking like the preference. We've also got about 5 drivers on the hard compound tyres as well. So definitely all a little bit shaken up, let's say. Dex saying, did you know you commentated my first ever online race nearly a year ago? Oh my word. That's awesome, Deck. I didn't know that. That's really cool. I'm glad to have that honor. I'm very glad. Absolutely brilliant. Charlie in the chat as well. Welcome in, Charlie. I do apologize. I am kind of focused on the Twitch chat at the moment while we've got this treasure train running. There is 2 minutes left of the train, so do make sure you're getting yourself involved in the giveaway as we line up on the grid then, and all that is left to do is await the 5 red lights. The engines roar to life then. 5 red lights ahead of the drivers, and we can go racing here at Suzuka. What is going on with the lights in the background? I have not got a clue, but it's Huff that gets the getaway from pole position. They all seem to get through cleanly is what I would have said if they had, but we've got drivers all off the road in the background there. CB being one of them. TTV Kian was off the road as well. Brands having a bit of an issue too. It's Huff that leads the way then with MGA in second place. HTL Llama runs in third. Jarmin has had a moment at the back and is now down to 22nd place. The Red Bull driver not getting the start that he would have wanted. We've got MGA in second, looking to put the Audi under some pressure. HTL Llama in third with Execution Hussein in fourth place. Shaggy's fifth with Lawless Fever in sixth place, as that is someone going off and into the barriers, and that is Ralph Farrell down at the hairpin. And he is straight on into the wall, and that will surely be damage for the Williams car as well. As he tries to get the car back on the road, there is damage to that Williams front wing as we make our way towards 130R. On board with the Mercedes of MGA is saving his battery for the time being. Doesn't want to try and make a move into the final chicane. Look at HTL Llama ducking out to the inside line. That will compromise MGA a little bit off this final corner as the overtake boost gets enabled then, and we begin lap 2. Huff is your leader from MGA in second, and HTL Llama running in third. The McLaren looking towards the inside line of MGA. That was very close to contact. Somehow they don't come together. And MGA remains in second. Tom is the highest driver on the softs. And as I say that, Tom goes off the road in the S's and is now down to 14th. And it might be 15th as TTV Kian tries to attack round the outside. Tom holds 14th for the moment. But the McLaren driver now gets up to 13th past Macho Wings. That is not what he would have wanted. Highest soft runner. Now Lunar Eclipse in 10th place and is trying to put some pressure on the Williams down the inside at the hairpin. Barging through is the Alpine, now looking to try and get the straight line speed using the overtake boost as well. And Lunar Eclipse does move up into 9th place. Look at Leon, who's trying to go down the inside of the pair of them and does exactly that, but Leon runs very wide and that's going to compromise him, and he's now forced onto the gravel and is going to lose a whole host of positions as we start the run towards 130R. He's been off the track. He's down to 14th. Maybe make that 15th as Macho Wings goes through as well. It is absolute carnage as we're now 3 wide into the chicane. Lunar Eclipse manages to hold on to 9th place for the time being. None of them really with any battery. It's Tom with the most battery that's surely going to gain the positions here. You can see how effective saving your battery is. And the McLaren down the inside of the pair of them. Spadang also gets back through on Lunar Eclipse as well and up into 10th. What great battling we're having in the early going of this Japanese Grand Prix. Charlie saying, how do you get the fancy stuff around the screen? Okay, so the banner at the bottom is just done through Streamlabs. It's literally just an image, and you just put it in and fit it to the screen. And then the follower goal and the like goal, that is done through a website called Tickfinity. which is just TikTok goals, essentially. And you add it as a browser source to your Streamlabs as YT, Little, and Deckers battle away. This is your battle for the lead. MGA down the inside on Huff. Mercedes versus Audi. The Audi doesn't have much battery. MGA with plenty more to use. And we have got a new leader here in the Japanese Grand Prix. It looks like we're going to go 3 abreast into the chicane for the race lead. This is going to be very dangerous. HTL Llama round the outside of the pair of them and takes the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix. What a move from the McLaren round the outside of the Audi and the Mercedes at the same time. And HTL Llama is now your leader. Huff in second with MGA in third place. Incredible battling going on in the early phases. Position change wise, big gainer is Benny in the Haas, up 7 places. Big losers are CB and Rel Farrell, down 8 and 12 places respectfully. TTV Kian up 4 places, as well as Macho Wings. Lunar Eclipse is up 5. So we've got a lot of gainers. We've got a few people that have dropped positions, including MGA and Huff, who have lost position to HTL Llama. Started third, runs in the lead, but I'm sure this battle is far from over. We've also got Executioner Same in the lead train as well, a little bit further back off of the Mercedes and the Audi, but is quite quickly closing in to the back of the top 3. And we will have a 4-car fight for the lead of this race. Through 130R we go, on board with the Ferrari, and towards the final chicane, you can see MGA and Huff battling away. Mercedes versus Audi. That's going to get very close as the corner pinches up on the exit. They are now wheel to wheel as we make our way down the main straight and begin lap 5. It's the Audi with the inside line and is electing to use a little bit more battery. Huff manages to stay in second place then. HTL Llama still running in third. We've got Deckers going past Tom and up into 7th. Have the soft tyres already seen their best lease of life in this Grand Prix? We've got a yellow flag as Twitch Brands comes into the pit lane, and that is why we've got a yellow flag. It was a very slow entry into the pit lane for the Aston Martin driver, who is coming in for a front wing change and a fresh set of medium compound tyres. They go on to the Aston as MGA and Huff still fighting away in the hairpin. These two will not leave each other alone, as on the exit, MGA looking to come back at Huff. Huff using a little bit more battery though, but MGA is going to have a very good opportunity to get through down towards 130R with the extra battery. He's got about 20% extra as we've got a yellow flag, and I believe that's Tom. It is Tom that has had an off and has got some damage to the front wing as well. The McLaren gets back into this race, albeit in 13th, might be 12th, as Benny runs the Haas in a little bit deep and is re-overtaken by Tom. Tom with much more battery as well, and will secure himself in 12th place for the time being. It's HTL Llama that is your leader. MGA pulling out of the slipstream of Huff. MGA just wants to save his battery for the time being. Knows that you can't win a race on lap 6, but you can most certainly lose one, as Tom gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And that really will be Tom's race over, along with the wing damage as well. I assume we'll be getting that repaired in the pit lane, and is getting that repaired in the pit lane. So he will be miles back off the back of the pack as well, with a 10-second penalty. As MGA looking towards the inside line of the hairpin again. Is he able to try and make his way through? It's going to be Huff that gets the better exit. A little bit of wheel banging between them, as we've got another yellow flag, but nobody that is stationary, so looks all right for the minute. MGA just eking ahead of Huff. As into Spoon Curve we go. MGA up into second place. Huff now in third. MGA back to where he started this Japanese Grand Prix in second place. Huff has lost 2 places down to third. HTL Llama is up 2 places, up to the race lead. We'll move on to lap 7 then. That will leave us with 20 laps remaining of this Japanese Grand Prix. It is HTL Llama that is your leader. Is MGA the man to try and put a stop to the McLaren in this race? We will only find out the answer to that question when the Mercedes gets to the rear end of the McLaren and starts putting some proper pressure on him. As Lunar Eclipse now dives into the pit lane. That is a scheduled pit stop. Medium compound tyres go on to the Alpine. You can imagine everyone that is stopping so far is going to be 2 stopping in this race. Lawless Fever currently running in 5th. He's got Shaggy for company in 6th place. CB currently down 3 places at the moment. He's got Spadang right behind him. CB starting on the hards. Spadang on the mediums. Charlie saying, is Sean still commentating? I do believe so. That is probably a question you want to ask him, not me. As I'm not fully up to date with his schedule. Alessandro saying, is this a social? No, this is a championship event. This is your Tuesday 6 p.m. race. As things stand, it will be HTL Llama who will be taking the win and leading the championship out of this race. We've still got plenty of time to go, though, for that to change. MGA is right in the background of Llama. Charlie apparently has been released from commentary, so will not be joining us in MOR any longer for the commentary services. Charlie saying Sean is so rage baitable. Do I even want to ask what you mean by that, Charlie? That's scary. I don't want you to think you can do that to me. Executioner same falling a little bit back of the top 3 fight. Macho Wings has made his way into the pit lane. MGA still in 2nd place, is under pressure from Huff. HTL Llama under pressure from MGA, and this sort of close racing, it does most certainly play on your mind. It's not easy at all to be following in such close contention and be under pressure from other drivers. If anything, you'd be most comfortable being Huff right now, who is really doing the chasing and attacking rather than really under pressure himself. It is so difficult to try and stay mentally locked in for 27 laps when you're in a fight like this. Will we see anyone into the pit lane on this lap? Doesn't look like it. They all stay out for at least another tour of this Japanese Grand Prix circuit. Suzuka, always one of those tracks that really every driver loves. I don't think you could ever ask a driver to race at Suzuka and they'd say no. Whether that be online or real life. And definitely one of the more iconic tracks on the Formula 1 calendar. One that we are very used to seeing. As MGA is trying to gain on the McLaren towards the first of the 2 Degners. Now through the 2nd Degner we go. You can see the Mercedes burning a bit of battery, trying to get close enough to the hairpin. The McLaren being placed exactly where it needs to be. Huff taking the outside line, looking for a bit of better grip. Isn't able to get the move done. And our top 3 battle still continues then. This is a brilliant fight out in front. The top 3 all within about 0.6 of a second of each other. McLaren, Mercedes and Audi. 3 different constructors. If you want to talk about the Constructors' Championship, it is currently Mercedes and Audi that are really having the best days out. HCL Llama leading this race, but his teammate Tom in 19th at the moment. MGA's teammate Deckers currently running in 7th. Huff's teammate CB currently running in 8th, as that is Huff that has gone off. We just caught it in the background while we're on board with MGA. It didn't look like there was any contact, just a bit trigger happy on the throttle for Huff. He glides his way into the barriers. He's lucky that he's only down to 4th and doesn't have any front wing damage. Executioner Same moves up to 3rd then, 2.2 seconds behind the top 2. As MGA still looking to attack Llama. Huff and de back now down to 4th. And the Audi driver, I said the pressure is very hard to deal with, and was that maybe the pressure getting to him a little bit, wanting to keep as close as possible to MGA and Llama. The car just getting away from him on the exit of turn 1. As through 130R we go with MGA and Llama towards the final chicane. They are both being called in for pit stops. I do wonder if they'll pit on this lap. Is anyone coming in? No, they are not. They stay out once more. Both of these cars running with Mercedes power. As MGA is looking towards the inside line. Little bit of wheel banging between them as we go into turn 1. But MGA does take the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix. Llama saw it coming. He tried to defend it as hard as possible. But the McLaren driver not able to stop the Mercedes, flying through the Silver Arrows, leading once again here at Suzuka. And I must say, we haven't had our realistic performance division yet. That is only on Thursdays. But Mercedes are doing very, very well. Monday, 6 p.m, they absolutely dominated and brought home a 1-2. Monday, 8 p.m, they had a very good showing as well. Tuesday, 6 p.m, what we're here for now. MGA is your leader with Deckers in 8th place. And you would say the early Constructors' Championship leaders. I wonder how this is going to develop though, because obviously Audi are a very good team as well. You've got the Williams cars, which are quite closely contested. That is YT Little, that has had a moment somewhere and is in the barriers at the top of the hill, out of the S's. And YT Little rejoins the track then, down in 19th place. I'm trying to get the offboard shot to see if there is any damage. There is a lot of damage to that front wing. And the Aston Martin driver, you would imagine, will be in the pit lane soon as MGA and Llama come into pit, as does Shaggy. Hard compound tyres for MGA. What tyres are we talking for Llama? It's not letting us see at the moment. It's hard compound tyres for Shaggy. And it is hard compound tyres for Llama then. And these two will continue their fight out in the front of this race. We would imagine it will be a one-stop. The McLaren versus Mercedes in the battle for victory. And this battle will continue right until the checkered flag, I am sure. It's Executioner Same that is looking for the overcut and is currently leading this race, Huff and de back in 2nd place. We've got Lawless Fever running in 3rd with CB in 4th. Obviously, CB starting on the hard compound tyres, so he will be out for a little bit longer. MGA now right behind his teammate Deckers. Will we see some team games going on? Will Deckers allow his teammate through and maybe try and hold Llama up? If Deckers is going to play the team game, that's exactly what he needs to do. But no, he's let Llama through as well, trying to allow his teammate through. Llama gets the position as well. Deckers, I think, was trying to play the team game, but ultimately it did not work out As Executioner Same and Lawless Fever come into the pit lane. Llama looking towards the inside. Not able to make the move. You have to be very careful about that curb at turn 1. As CB is now holding up the Mercedes and the McLaren. And you can see MGA wanting to waste no time at all, trying to get through on CB. HTL Llama involved in the battle as well towards the first Degner. Still no way through for MGA. CB doing a good job of defending. Now towards the hairpin we go. Is HTL going to look down the inside too? He most certainly is. MGA gets through. Llama now wheel to wheel with MGA. CB has been dropped, as has Deckers. There won't be any more traffic out in front. Huff and the back will pit before MGA and Llama get up to the back of him. So it is now just a straight fight to the end of this race between the Mercedes and between the McLaren. MGA looking very comfortable in saving his battery. HTL using a little bit more. Ultimately, that is going to help MGA a lot more. It's Llama that has the overtake boost. You can see CV staying out, trying to duck into the slipstream as well and stick with the leading duo. Huff and the back did come into pit, so this is now the battle for the lead. Huff comes out in 5th place. About 3.5 seconds off of Executioner Same, who is now looking to try and gain on this fight. Deckers also came into the pit lane as well. He emerges in 10th. Lunar Eclipse, with that early pit stop, has managed to undercut and is now running in 9th. TTV Kian, I don't believe, has pitted yet in this race. We'll look at the tyre screen. Has not pitted yet in this race. Currently runs in 8th. Has got Lunar Eclipse all over the back of him though. And Lunar, it will only be a short amount of time before the Alpine is through. Looking towards the outside line of the hairpin. Has to back out of it a little bit. Goes onto the grass. And Kian, with the better exit, keeps the position but is saving his battery. Lunar Eclipse trying anywhere to try and get through. And Lunar Eclipse is not able to make the move into 8th place as HTL Llama does take the position away from MGA and takes the lead of the Grand Prix. But MGA with nearly a full tank of battery as Llama sets the fastest lap. Here comes MGA back towards turn 1. And I must say, I am very, very, very impressed with MGA's strategy here. Is not too concerned with retaking the lead of this race. Knows he is quick enough to sit behind Llama. Quick enough to sit behind and save his battery. Can get past any time he wants because he has that excess battery. Will just want to use it when he needs to. Any other time, he's more than happy to just save that battery. As we make our way towards the hairpin then. Llama versus MGA. Let's get some predictions going in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Who do we think is going to win the Japanese Grand Prix? We've still got 12 laps to go of this race, but let's get some early predictions in. We've got Llama that is currently leading. MGA in 2nd. Executioner Same gets through on CB towards Spoon Curve. He currently runs in 3rd. We've got Shaviton in the chat. Welcome in, mate. Good to see you. It's been a while. Very glad to see you back in the chat. You join us at a very good time for the Japanese Grand Prix as MGA does retake the lead of this race. Shaviton saying, I totaled my car. Oh, my word. I do hope you're okay, mate. The main thing is that you are safe and you are well. DB makes his way into the pit lane for his one and only pit stop of this race. Medium compound tyres go on to the Audi. Audi looking early runners for the Constructors' Championship, it must be said. Lunar Eclipse goes through into 7th. Deckers will go through into 8th. Javaton saying, yes, this just means less galaxies from me, but I'm alright. The main thing is you're okay, Javaton. So I'm very glad to hear that you're okay. That is, of course, the #1 priority. Who needs galaxies when you have your health? That is my motto that I've just come up with. MGA is your leader then of this Japanese Grand Prix. HTL Llama running in 2nd. Executioner Same is 3rd with Huff and the Back in 4th place. Shaggy running in 5th with Lawless Fever in 6th. I must say Alpine as well could look very strong in the Constructors' Championship. Running currently in 6th and 7th place. Luna, we would imagine, will have to come in for another pit stop. But will be on much fresher tyres on the 2-stop strategy. Huff and the Back sets the fastest lap of the race and is trying to get that podium place back from Executioner Same. As we've got yellow flags flying. That's for one of the Aston Martins. It's YT Littlely, who has had a moment coming towards the first Degner. Has got big front wing damage as well. And will be coming into the pit lane. You would imagine Tom on 11 lap old mediums. He's just coming into the pit lane. We have hit the 5,000 like goal on TikTok. Thank you very much to everyone that was liking and double tapping the screen. Still got 10 laps to go in this race. We could hit 10k. You can see it in the top left-hand side of your screen. Tom serves the 10-second penalty and emerges from the pit lane, albeit down in 18th place at the moment. Twitch Brands gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Javaton saying, why are gifts unavailable? Our live has been suspended for some reason. We are working on a fix. Hannah very kindly came in the chat and offered to help us. So we will be trying to get the lives unsuspended as soon as possible. So do bear with us while we try and do that. Gifting's been suspended for, I want to say, about a week now. It's been pretty poor from TikTok, but I'm sure it will be solved in due course. HTL Llama is your leader then. MGA running in 2nd. Executioner Same is in 3rd. Huff and the Back in 4th is gaining on the Ferrari man. So let's have a look. On board with the Audi. Jarman going very long on his tyres. 16 lap old. Hard compound tyres at the moment. Make that 17 laps, as that was a big crash there. And that was Executioner Same, who's been trying to push and gain away from Huff and the Back and stop that lap time falling. Executioner Same into the barriers and with big damage. What goes around comes around. Huff and the Back spun out of P3. Executioner Same has just had the exact same thing. Lawless Fever now running in 4th place. Shaggy, I imagine quite easily, is going to take 5th here. And I'm sure Executioner Same will have to be into the pit lane at the end of this lap. That is red front wing damage on the right-hand side of that Ferrari. VMV Damon coming in with the follow on Twitch. Thank you very much, Damon. As Executioner Same does come into the pit lane then. The Ferrari driver gets a new front wing and a new set of medium compound tyres onto that car. He'll emerge in 10th place behind Spadang. Will stay ahead of Jarman. He comes out in 10th and will now just be full push to the end of this race. Deckers trying to get past Lunar Eclipse. 5 lap old hards for Deckers. And it's 12 lap old mediums for Lunar Eclipse. I'm very surprised that Luna hasn't been into the pit lane at the moment, as Deckers does go down the inside of the hairpin. Luna looking for the switchback, but Deckers does get his way through and up into 7th place. Shaggy and Lawless Fever, I believe, have been battling away as well. As we're on lap 20 of 27, then you can still see the fight between Llama and MGA is continuing on in this race. It does not look like it's going to end anytime soon, as the Mercedes looking towards the outside line of the hairpin, now looking down the inside. McLaren versus Mercedes. And this lead fight has been going on pretty much since the start. It was with Hoven de back and Executioner same as well. Both of those having moments as Llama picks up a 3-second penalty. And that is going to be absolutely massive in the outlook of this race, because as long as MGA can keep it in the track limits, it doesn't matter whether he finishes ahead or not. I do not believe it. HTL Llama picks up a 3-second time penalty. We'll open up the penalty screen. Damon is a big fan of MGA. MGA looking very on course to win this race. Huff running in 3rd at the moment. Is trying to pull that gap down, but it's so difficult when you've got 2 drivers like MGA and Llama that are your leaders and the drivers you are trying to fight away with. Shaggy still trying to keep tabs with Lawless Fever. Lunar Eclipse in 8th place currently, might just be staying out to the end of this race on the medium compound tyres, which would be quite the long stint, it must be said. I'd be very surprised if the Alpine driver is able to do that. Closest battle on track besides the leaders at the moment is Brands versus Literally. Literally has disconnected, however, so that's not really a fight. Closest battle on track besides that is between Prancing Horse and TTV Kian. TTV Kian on the fresher tyres. They're both on mediums, 8 lap old mediums. Prancing Horse. Kian's only 5 laps old, so you would imagine Kian will win out that fight. Prancing Horse also with a penalty as well. These two trying to get onto the back of Jarmin, who has done an incredibly long stint on his hard compound tyres. 20 laps on the hards. I imagine Pirelli are probably screaming at him that they're not meant to go that long, but it looks like he's comfortable staying out in 10th place at the moment. The battle for the lead is still the closest on track, and that is the way that you would always want it to be. McLaren versus Mercedes as we move towards lap 23 of 27. MGA, the man in second place, but with HTL Llama's penalty, it looks pretty unlikely that the McLaren is going to win unless there is something untoward that happens in the remaining laps. They're just coming through on some of the lapped cars. That is giving Llama the overtake boost as well, which may help him stay ahead on the road. Another very close battle is Jarman versus Benny. Jarman has just been into the pit lane, has got through on Benny, who picks up a 3-second time penalty. Jarman, now in 16th, is, I would imagine, going to gain very quickly on Hi-Fi. Fresh softs versus old hard compound tyres. 12 laps that Hi-Fi has been on those hard compound tyres, and you can see the gap is falling absolutely massively between Jarman and Hi-Fi as Tom gets through on Spadang and up into 12th place. You can see Prancing Horse just ahead of these two as well, and then TTV Kian just ahead of Prancing Horse. Spadang on the better tyres. You would expect to be at the front of this train, but it's actually the two drivers with the two highest worn tyres that are at the front of this pack. Shaggy has just got through on Lawless Fever and up into 5th place. As that is a big moment there, and that's Spadang off the track. Manages to keep it out of the barriers. It was a tiny bit of contact with the rear end of Tom, but it was more than enough to get Spadang all out of shape. And off the road he went. We've had MGA and Llama still battling. Llama going to get ran out of road. He gets caught up on the sausage curb. And Llama going to lose a lot of time to MGA, who might break the overtake boost on this lap. That is the first time we've seen of it getting spicy. MGA does the gentlemanly thing and allows the McLaren back through. That's also pretty smart, because now Llama can't really report it to the stewards because MGA gave the position back. And with Llama already having a penalty, it doesn't really cost the Mercedes driver anything. So that is pretty wise, I must say, from MGA. And that has now allowed as well Huff and De Back to get into the penalties range of Llama. So as things stand, it's going to be MGA winning this race with Huff and De Back in 2nd place. Llama is going to fall to 3rd because of this 3-second penalty. MGA is going to scrap away with Llama as well, and that is only going to pull Huff and De Back closer. You can see with every corner that the McLaren and the Mercedes go wheel to wheel. Huff and De Back gets that little bit closer. Here comes the Mercedes towards turn 1, has the inside line, and does make his way through on track into the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix. We have got 2 laps to go in this race, or technically 3 laps to go in this race. The rest of lap 25, lap 26, and lap 27. But Huff and De Back now only 1.2 seconds behind HTL Llama. We've got the ghosted car of Prancing Horse ahead of us, who's trying to get the fastest lap of the race, it would seem. But Huff and De Back is now right on the back, no pun intended, of HTL Llama, who is going to fall down to 3rd. He is very lucky that Executioner Same had his moment, or he could have been falling off of the podium places. Macho Wings and Brocker having a good battle towards Spoon Curve. One of the Astons has had a bit of a moment in the S's, but gets going quite quickly once again. Brocker gets ahead of Macho Wings and up into 19th. The Ferrari is going to use his battery, though, towards the inside of 130R. Macho Wings makes a good move up into 19th place. Brocker back down the inside. There's contact between the Ferrari and the V-Carb. So who's got more battery then? It's Macho Wings with more battery. And that will allow him to gain away from Brocker. It's Huffender back right up with Llama now, nearly in the overtake boost. Didn't get it on that lap. Shaggy still chasing down Lawless Fever. Alpine definitely looking like a very good constructor. It must be said that Audi will probably be taking the Constructors' Championship lead. Mercedes also looking very strong. Tom with a brilliant comeback after the wing damage and then the 10-second penalty. He runs in 10th. I think the Constructors' Championship in this division is going to be very closely contested between Mercedes, McLaren, and Audi. We've also got Alpine in there as well. There could be a four-way fight for the Constructors' Championship, as we are moving towards the end of the penultimate lap of this race. It is MGA that is your leader. Huffender back has used all of his battery to get into the overtake boost of HTL Llama and has now joined this fight. Has Huffender back. As we begin then the final lap of this Japanese Grand Prix. It has been an incredible fight between MGA and Llama for the win. But we knew it was somewhat written in the stars for the Mercedes when Llama picked up that 3-second penalty. There was always the chance that he would be able to shake MGA, but these two have been stuck to each other like magnets all race long. And it is yet some more Mercedes celebration in MOR. You can't say we're not law accurate. We've got the two Aston Martins at the back and a Mercedes leading. We might as well be the real F1. HTL Llama looking around the outside of the hairpin. He wants to try and win this on track as they wheel lock and Huffender back goes through into the lead of the race. So it isn't going to be a Mercedes driver that wins this Grand Prix, because through the hairpin, MGA and Llama come together. Huffender back, who had the moment early on in the first stint of this race, has come through with the comeback. Is the Audi driver that's gonna do it in Japan. Audi will be roaring on the pit wall. Incredible scenes to end the Japanese Grand Prix. It is Huffender back that rounds the final corner to win the Japanese Grand Prix. What an end to that race. Nobody saw it coming. Nobody could have called it, but it came true. Huffender back is your winner here in Japan. Llama in second with MGA in third. Shaggy will finish fourth with Lawless Fever in 5th place. CB in 6th with Deckers in 7th. Executioner same as 8th with Tom in 9th. Lunar Eclipse in 10th place. Ralph Farrell in 11th. Luna's ran out of fuel. So Luna will not be getting 10th place. Luna is going to fall all the way back here. It's going to be Tom that takes 9th. Ralph Farrell in 10th on track. But it will be... No, because Ralph Farrell has now ran out of fuel as well. So it will be Kian that finishes in 10th. Spadang in 11th. It's going to be Jarmin that finishes in 12th. If he can get ahead of the Williams that's ran out of fuel. He does though. So it's Jarmin in 12th. Ralph Farrell 13th with Lunar Eclipse in 14th. Can Benny try and get through on Lunar Eclipse? It's going to look like he will be able to, yes. But needs a 3-second gap. That's the only issue. And hasn't got really any time to try and pull that out. But Luna going very, very slowly. Is there going to be enough time to get the 3-second gap for Benny? Luna crosses the line and finishes in 14th place. What an end to that Grand Prix that was. It is Huffender back that wins the Grand Prix. He gets the fastest lap as well. Benny with driver of the day. Most overtakes goes to CB with Jarmin being the cleanest driver. There is your order. It's Huff and the back from Llama. Shaggy takes third place, but it's actually the Mercedes driver that takes third. So your order is a little bit messed up, as it would have been MGA that finished in third place, but he retired after the Grand Prix. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was an absolutely brilliant race. Thank you for joining me. We will be back in about 40 minutes for the highly anticipated Tuesday 8 p.m. division. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you're following down below. I will see you when I see you. Until then, take care and ta-da.